public.
Well, we can't enable super chat because we're broke. Hold potentially inappropriate. Everybody's been pretty good. All right. Nobody likes us. Can you bring the...
Bring what?
Sorry, can you just bring the mic a little bit closer? There's multiple. There's more than one.
Yeah, but you talk so loud that...
What's good, Pantera? What's good, sir? Oh, yeah. Can you hear? Great reaction. Love your enthusiasm. See, some people love mine.
Oh, you can hear us. Cool. How's it going? Hey, you get a chance. Ask a question.
Yeah.
Nobody else is here.
Yeah. What's up, man? Only one single solitary person. Looks like we'll have some quality time with Pantera. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that sounds weird to him or what.
Pantera X Ratum.
He's like...
Can't think of a question. You know what? I took one of the girls with me to pick up some food tonight. And I was like, well, all right, you have me alone. Like, talk to me. Well, I can't think of anything to talk about, she said. So I understand. What song do you want us to review?
Oh, boy.
Oh, it means Rage Against the Machine. Oh, okay. That makes sense. Ah, they're your favorite bands? Wait a minute, we haven't done Rage Against the Machine.
We have done no raid.
Why?
I don't know. They keep getting buried in the
Hey, Jesse.
thingy. Hey, guys. I like machine guns. Puppet Master by Thy Art Is Murder. I figured people would get tired of Thy Art Is Murder. No?
Oh, they want to know what we're going to be talking about. Did you have a theme here? Or?
No. I just wanted... We hadn't done a FireSide in a while, so... I just figured we'd do some FireSide chatting. So, that's what I... Why? Did you have an idea?
No, I
didn't get it. People keep saying they didn't get notifications.
I don't know. That's probably why there's only 11 people here.
That's okay. It's a small and intimate.
Yeah, we heard about that. And you have Lascaris and Wintersun are touring together this fall.
Whoa.
That would be cool. Somebody mentioned it this afternoon as well.
Hey, King Jackson. How's it going, big guy?
Sup? Evening, Brother Grimm. Brother Grimm. Cool, Carlos. I'm glad you guys are enjoying it. You're enjoying it.
We're big fans of you, Carlos. Carlos D.
Wage War. Oh my gosh, Jesse just happened to click on our channel and that's how he found out we were live. Hey, isn't there an option to make this more clear?
No, I mean that's his.
Oh, I remember you clicked one time.
Well, there's an HD thing, but I think it's. Oh.
Here you go.
There you go.
Does it basically look the same?
Have you heard of Creator? Yeah, I've heard of Creator. Do you believe in free will? Missed out on the last Slayer tour. I just refreshed my subscription page and it said you were live. Your channel is very intriguing. Thanks for your perspective. Okay, so Kenneth asked, do we believe in free will? Well, Kenneth, let me say this. How much time do you have? Because that will determine how I answer that question.
He said a quick answer is fine.
Yeah, but that might be him wanting a longer answer.
Yeah,
and then
what do you
just
want?
saying a quick answer is fine.
Corbin said it's a deep subject. Still waiting for your answer. Do you believe sports are rigged? I do sometimes.
Well, after that, charge for LeBron, that really wasn't a charge. It's very hard not to believe. Illuminati confirmed.
Thomas.
Time isn't time alive on this earth. I could stick around. I believe in free will. I'll start with that. Okay, Kenneth, you believe in free will. So you believe, Kenneth, that you have the freedom, if I pushed you off a 10-story building, you have the freedom to sprout wings and fly. From your educated theological point of view, 9 Inch Nails heresy might be a good one. I can't believe we haven't done any 9 Inch Nails either.
I keep saying it.
Would be out of place to do a song request. No, it wouldn't be out of place.
We just generally try to stay away from them in the chats because we want to talk to you guys more than write down songs.
Jay Fry, how is Ezekiel 28 referring to Lucifer at all when it's clearly addressed to the king of Tyre and describing a shining port city? Well, the simplest answer I would give to that, Jay Fry, is that it's referring to both of them, and that Ezekiel is looking past the king of Tyre to the spiritual forces that were energizing him. And I think if you say you were in Eden, the garden of God, if you take that in just a plain sense, then it obviously can't be speaking about the king of Tyre. And I also don't think that the king of Tyre could be described as being the perfection of beauty. So that's why. We don't align with any Christian denomination. Hey, Jackie Miles. Did our free will guy? Okay, Kenneth. Okay. He says he believes in free will. Hey, Cassandra.
Hey, Cassandra. I'll poke my head in like you did.
Long live Norway. Long live Norway. Hey, Zeus.
Oh
Nothing. We're talking about light subjects like the nature of the will, what Christian denomination we identify with, how the king of Tyre, how am I saying that Ezekiel 28 is about the devil when it's really about the king of Tyre, etc.
It's 12:45.
I've got my last exam in about 2 hours.
AM.
I wish I could stay, but I can't. Also very tired. I sent all that. Any tips on staying awake? Go to
Red
bed. No, don't encourage the people. Sorry. Go to bed. We're going to do another one of these. We do these things a lot.
Oh, that's why I thought he said, oh, no, go to bed. You have an exam?
Yeah, we do these things a lot. These are completely free. We're never going to monetize the FireSide chat. So
you'll have more opportunities.
Yeah.
This won't be the last. Unless the rapture happens.
This is your career. Your career. The nature of the will, Zeus.
Supernatural? A show called Supernatural? No, we have never watched it. I have never watched it.
Jay Fry, I don't think they're secretly about the devil, though. That's the thing. If you compare Isaiah 14 and Ezekiel 28, I don't think there's much secrecy happening there. There is a position, G.K. Beale takes a position that he's speaking past the king of Tyre to speak about Adam, but I don't take that position.
No, we're not. I do drink lots of Red Bull. We're not watching any shows right now. There's like no time. All we're doing is YouTube and more YouTube. Seriously.
Yeah.
We like sat down to watch a movie last night. What was the name of it?
Annihilation.
I was going to say Annihilator. Annihilation.
Yeah, it just died in the middle of the movie.
I still want to finish it, though.
Sauce. I'm not really...
Oh, you're not going to finish it?
I'm not committed. Good evening, Dr. Scott McCalla.
I just want to know what happens in the end.
Are you guys listening them out? They're all in my head. All my ideas are in my head, and I access them at... Oh, Jonathan Melton says Annihilation is amazing. Melton, I was actually going to recruit you to come on my show, but you didn't have enough of a polarizing perspective on Roseanne, so the show idea died with you. Thank you very much. Punisher, Vikings. I want to watch the Viking show really, really badly. Hey, Tasco's from New Zealand.
Oh, really?
Yeah. No, I like composure. We're gonna do a lot of August. We're also, I will say it, we're due up for some Opeth. We definitely need to do some Opeth.
You don't say.
That's for sure. When did y'all go live? About 15 minutes ago.
Look, it tells you 14:32.
14 minutes and 33 seconds ago. Hales Village.
It's hot in Texas.
My brother lives in Texas.
What is the Viking show? I mean, is it about Vikings?
Yeah, it's about Vikings. It's like a historical piece on Vikings. Yeah, I think it's one of those things that we're going to be able to binge watch because I think we're about like 4 or 5 seasons.
When do we have time to binge watch anything?
That's a good question.
The shirts will be for sale soon enough.
Somebody asked about the kids? Oh.
No, somebody, Jesus said he loves the shirts.
What is free will? Yeah, so my understanding of free, so you've got the libertarian school of thought, which the simplest way to do it is the ability to act or act otherwise. And you're kind of like at this neutral point and you can choose A or B. And then there's the compatibilist thought, which is you can make choices only within your nature, within your highest desire, and your highest desire is dictated by your nature. So it's a little bit more complex and nuanced, but that's where I fall, that you're free, a decision is free insofar as it's not made due to an external compulsion. So there you go. I don't know if that explains anything, but there you go.
Somebody
What were you
was
pointing
asking
to?
if there's a story behind the shirt image.
Dying to know. Yeah, so the shirt has Sori doing this, and then in the back it says, maybe you're sick because of your secrets, right? So there's a lot of, I'm a big human nature self-awareness guy, and I think that the things that you've got to have people or a person in your life that you're as open with as you possibly can be. For me, that's Jesus. I bet you're gonna.
I knew it wasn't me.
For me, that's Jesus. But so you've got this kind of beautiful, mysterious woman doing this thing, and then in the back it says, "Maybe you're sick because of your secrets." So it's the irony, it's the artwork, it's all that good stuff. So that's the idea behind the image. Should the classicness of a song factor into the score? No, that's why we rated Judas the Painkiller song so low. Mm-hmm. We didn't give a damn about the classicness or lack thereof. Look, Khalid said the Earth is not flat. Tell her, Khalid. Tell her.
I just need more proof. I want to hear both sides more.
What are your thoughts on karma? My thoughts on karma are very close to, what's his name? Bono, who said that grace trumps karma. I think that it still comes down to the question of by what standard. So if you say, if you do good, good comes back to you, and bad, then bad comes back to you, which is an oversimplified understanding of karma, then I would say, okay, well, how do you know how much good you've done in a day? And most of us, if we're being honest, judge ourselves on a much more generous scale. And so I don't want what I have done in my life to come back to me. And that's the kind of story that we're caught up in, right? The idea is that all the bad that I deserve fell on Jesus, and then all the good that he deserves falls on me.
Yeah, but at the same time, Jesus said, like, whatever you reap, you also sow. So whatever you sow, you also reap.
Yeah, I think there's a general universal principle that, generally speaking, God wants to reward good behavior and punish bad behavior because it leads to a situation where you'll most likely end up to be with him. But I don't believe that God works on a punishment reward system for the sake of itself. Even if he operates in a punishment reward system, it's so that we can be with him because he's a father. My ultimate understanding of God is that he's a father. So everything that I do with my kids, even if it's punishment reward, is so that they can get to me. I don't really care too much about the behavior as much as why they're doing the behavior.
A couple people have asked us what we're doing with our channel.
What do you mean by that?
They just keep asking, what are our plans? Right here. Love what you're doing with your channel. No, that's not one. A couple of people just said, what are your plans with this channel? Is it just about Christians?
If you ever saw a lunar eclipse, there's your proof of a sphere. Eclipse. Well, then that means there's a spherical Earth. That proves it. Do you think our will can overrule God's? I think that God's will in the Bible operates in multiple lenses, right? So there's the theologians call it the will of command versus the will of decree, right? So in the Proverbs, it says that God hates when a guilty man goes free and then an innocent man is condemned. It says that God hates that. So God's will generally of command is that we shouldn't do that. Well, obviously, during the trial of Jesus, Barabbas was a guilty man who got set free, and Jesus was an innocent man who was condemned. And so from the sense of God's will of command, that will got overridden by human sinfulness. On the other hand, in Isaiah 53 and Psalm chapter 22, you see it's very clear that God planned for Jesus to be crucified in that specific fashion. And so his will of decree is his overarching plan in the story, but sometimes he writes into the story things that he doesn't like by nature. He didn't like to see Jesus be crucified in the sense of it hurt his sense of justice, but he liked to see Jesus crucified in the sense that it would bring a person like me into his house. So that's how I think God's will operates in two lenses simultaneously. That's my best answer to that question.
I'm the better cook.
That's not even a question.
No.
Well, I can cook Pizza Hut. I don't know if that counts.
And you can cook up that phone number
My favorite Tool song, I almost don't want to give it away because the Lateralis breakdown is coming so close.
Don't give it away.
But yeah, I'm not going to give it away. I have two that are very, very... There's one segment in one Tool song in the Lateralis song that is so inspiring to me and very, very important to me. And so I can't really say what my favorite Tool song, but both of them are on the Lateralis
But you will
record.
know soon enough.
I hate The Pot with a passion. I think that's a terrible song. I think it never should have been done. I don't know if we told you guys this, but when we initially put The Pot on, I couldn't believe that the vocals were the real vocals. You remember that?
I forgot
I said,
about
Sori,
that.
you got to change that. That's not the real
Yes,
vocals.
that's right.
I hate The Pot with a passion. You have no idea. But there's two songs on Lateralis that are just very, very, very like important to me. So I don't know if that answers your question. Why is Sori playing with so much fire? Good question.
The lighter just happens to be here.
Hello from That's another person from New Zealand. Agnostic here. If Jesus asked, "Why have you forsaken me?" should he not have already known that question if he's part of the Holy Trinity? Very good question. Corey Johnson, a lot of people don't realize, and it's ironic because I just said Psalm 22. And I didn't see that question. So when Jesus asked, my God, why have you forsaken me?" He was actually quoting a Bible passage. It's Psalm chapter 22. So he was quoting an Old Testament passage. And what's interesting about that passage was written about 600 to 800 years prior to the crucifixion of Jesus. So the author of Psalm 22 was written 600 to 800 years prior to Jesus. He describes that his hands and feet were pierced. He describes that people were gambling for his clothes. And he describes being laid in the dust of death. But then he describes that he's going to live again in order to sing God's praises in the congregation. And that because of the suffering of this person, many people from all over the world would come to live with God. So when Jesus is crying out, Psalm 20, my God, why have you forsaken me?" It's actually the opening lines of a song. It's kind of like if I were to say, "Come crawling faster," you would know immediately the rest of the song. You would know what I was talking about because these songs are part of our culture, right? Well, the Psalms were part of Jesus's culture. So as soon as he sings the opening stanza to that line, everybody else would have known that song. And as that song is playing in their head, they'd have been, wait a second, hands and feet pierced, gambling for clothes, dying, laid in the dust of death, and then he comes back to life and all these people are worshiping God. What the hell is going on? So that's what I think Jesus is doing in Psalm 22. Very good, in that passage. Very good question.
Explain Genesis 6:7.
That's the Nephilim stuff.
Oh. Is that going to be a podcast? You think? No? Or are you just going to explain?
Do you guys
Any
dig
cheers to Sori, Vin, Destiny.
Are Christians expected to memorize the Bible?
Expected to? Should we?
Should we?
Yes, but we're not expected to.
Yes.
It's not like you're in trouble if you don't. I mean, it does say that we're supposed to hide God's word in our heart so we won't sin against God. But most Christians don't memorize.
I mean, most Christians, though. I think most Christians have, like,
I think they have them in their minds, but not, like, let me sit down and actually memorize.
Yeah.
After all your research, what drew you to Christianity? Was it because it was taught to you or more of a self-realization?
Well, I'll answer this one first. As Christians, what do y'all think of porn? I think porn is extremely destructive. I think that, and you got to understand our background. We work with people who suffer from various kinds of addictions, okay? So when I say I believe porn is destructive, I'm not saying it from a standpoint of I'm somebody who's judging people for having a nasty habit. I'm saying it as somebody who has been in the midst of people's lives and have seen destruction. And like I said, I have close family members that work in special victims units. I'm gonna be careful how I say that. And he told me straight out there is a 1-to-1 correlation between pornography and certain forms of abuse. Now, I'm not saying that everybody that utilizes pornography does that. What I am saying is that the people who abuse, it goes there. But it literally rewires your brain if you watch enough of it. And one of the things that concerns me is that we're not catching up to the time period that we're in, because we're in a time, back in the day, if you wanted to look at porn, you had to go to a certain shop. Your basically your culture would judge you, and it was extremely hard to procure that type of information, those types of images, and so it acted as a gate of protection. But now what's happened with the internet is that there's a flood of this stuff, and your mind, men and women, is not designed to deal with those types of images at a 24/7 pace. Like you weren't designed to live that way. Whether you look at it theologically or even from a Darwinian perspective. So what happens is when the mind gets flooded with that stuff, it reroutes it completely changes your brain chemistry. There's Fight the New Drug, which is a secularist arm of this thing that's informing people of the dangers of the drug of pornography, that has real consequences that I myself have had to counsel people and walk people through, and people I was just talking to a guy a couple hours ago who was saying I lost my entire family over this stuff. So yeah, it's extremely destructive. People say things like victimless crime when it comes to pornography because supposedly the girls are volunteering to do it, so it's a victimless crime. I don't think pornography is a victimless crime at all, and I don't think that we even have enough data to do. I think it's going to be another generation
before we see all
the fallout of what has happened. I agree. So there you go. What do you think of bands like Slayer? I think bands like Slayer are highly talented, and I think bands like Slayer are amazing. They're highly talented, and they speak to the human experience. You get a song like God Hates Us All. I don't believe that God hates us all, but I do believe that people feel that. Yeah. And I believe that I've felt that. At times. I
don't think I ever felt like God hates us all.
Yeah.
I think there's times where I'm like, he's abandoned us. You know, we're just, you know how people say like he like kind of like twisted like a clock. He wound up the clock and just let it go. Like sometimes I felt like that. I felt like, yeah, I think we're just. I mean, because how could all this bad stuff happen? You know.
Are you all seeing Slayer in the Last Story of the Lamb of God and Behemoth? I'm about 84% sure that we're gonna be seeing Slayer with Lamb of God. I don't think we're gonna see Behemoth with them. We're working. I don't know. We'll see. The Sori shirt is awesome. I agree.
It'll be available soon.
Vin just loves those Kerry King solos. I think Kerry King solos are destructive. I feel like God is more of the... So one thing I'll say about Opeth, I definitely think that more Opeth needs to happen very, very soon.
Do you think certain books in the Bible are harmful? Cough, Pauline epistles. What would be harmful about it? I think I'm too religious in my thinking. I don't know what they're talking about.
I think that aspirin can be harmful. Aspirin is medicine, but it can be harmful if you use it the wrong way. And so, you know, in the scripture, you're told to be careful to I mean, the Greek basically is that you can cut the word accurately. Because you need to be able to make sure that you're applying the word properly. So yeah, I think anything in the Bible can be harmful, for sure, if in the hands of the wrong person.
Oh, okay.
For sure.
No, I know what you're talking about. Yep.
13 deleted gospels.
They want to know what we think about marijuana.
Well, I think, I'll make a parallel between marijuana and the Bible. I think that it's medicine and that it can be used properly. And I think it also can be overused. But if you're going to ask me what's a more harmful drug, pornography or marijuana, it's not even close. Go smoke some weed. Don't watch any porn. Isn't religion just metaphysics? I think religion is in a large part metaphysics, for sure.
They want to know when the Vin shirt's coming out. For sure.
When are the Vin shirts coming out? Do y'all believe in predestination?
We don't have them printed yet.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to answer that question. Man-made drugs are bad for you. You got to do one more Metallica reaction. I think Metallica is probably going to be a staple band for us, kind of like Tool. We would be doing a lot more Tool if we didn't have this major Lateralis project to do, but yeah. I don't know why people have such a short view of religion and mythology. I don't know what you mean by short view, Nova Wolf. Shrooms and weed.
Vin and Sori Calvin is confirmed. Oh my gosh.
Why would God create children of Satan and children of God? The standard answer that's supposed to be given.
That's true. I'm sorry. I get do for sure stickers. I need them for the guitar case and tattoo setup. For sure.
Oh.
Stickers, yeah.
Oh,
so people can decorate their stuff with it. For sure.
For sure. Nobody will know what the hell you're talking about.
But that's the point.
Okay. Or cookie stickers.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, would anybody be interested in some for sure stickers? I mean, if people are interested in them, let's do it.
Nova Wolf. I mean, like seeing everything as literal or metaphysical.
The thing about religion is it's very hard to know which one you should follow. I agree with that. That's very, very difficult to know which one you should follow. When will there be more Slipknot reactions? Very, very soon, but I won't say when. Are all those... Okay, so put 14 if you'd be interested in some for sure stickers. More Meshuggah. Yeah, we need Meshuggah too. That's true.
I said for sure for 15 years. Well, then maybe the stickers were yours. 22.
Scheiße, look
15. 14. I'm broke though.
We'll send you some honorary official stickers. Okay. All right. Well, can you get on that tomorrow?
The 88, probably. No, I have too much on my plate tomorrow.
Okay.
The 88 was if you guys wanted to see him do, like, if we re-reviewed the Judas Priest Painkiller song. But then I ended up, like, recording him when he wasn't realizing I was. So it's at the end of that video. That's what the 88 was for.
Have we ever listened to Yes? No.
We want actually stickers.
Actually. Yes. I'm very interested in instrumental bands, and I'm hoping that once we do Orion, that Sori will have a real interest in instrumentals, and that there will be a big push in the village for instrumentals. So yes, for sure. And Animals as leaders, and then there's this other band called forgot the name of the band off the top of my head, but there's another one that I listen to a lot for instrumentals. Nightwish is coming soon. If you like Carnival, you will love the band Pendragons. I don't know, man. I really, really love that Carnival song a lot. A bunch.
Really? Are you going to play it for me?
What?
What animal song?
No, Animals as leaders. They're a band, but they do instrumentals. Like explosions.
Yeah, but I've never heard it, right?
I've never heard it either.
Oh.
But Zeus is really big on it, so I mean, you know, I want to hear it pretty much because of him. But
okay.
My strategy is if we listen to Orion and you like, I don't really know what you're gonna do with Orion, and then we get more people to suggest. I'm pretty sure Animals as Leaders is gonna be up there. Favorite subgenre of metal? Sorry, it's progressive, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm still not sure what my favorite subgenre of metal is. Hello, everyone.
Oh, I'll close my eyes when listening to the instruments for sure.
Existential angst here. Thoughts on why Christians disown other Christians who are metalheads? I think that there is a ton of ignorance
and fear.
You know, that's why I put that thing, fear over love, because I think a lot of acts that look to be hatred are not really hatred, but fear. Mm-hmm. Like this whole Trump thing, and we're not going to let any Muslims in the country. And the reality is, you know, we lived by a bunch of Muslims, mm-hmm. and we were the terrorists. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, Sori said, because they moved away, and Sori said, I guarantee you they moved away because of us. we were the worst neighbors of all time. But it's fear. And so when you have fear, it makes you act out in hateful ways. And so I think a lot of, with Christianity and metal, I think a lot of it has to do with just fear of the unknown, and then the pastors got a hold of it, and then the other side, metal, you know, rock stars, you know, kind of latched on to the fear that the Christians had, and basically mm-hmm. played it up, you know. So you got Tom Araya, who's like a practicing Catholic, and he's like, God hates us all, with the pentagram and all that shit, you know, like, so, and he, you know, so you know, so you know, they need each other. Like the religious fearmongers need the metal bands, and the metal bands need the fearmongers, and so, you know, the Christian civilians get caught in the middle. Mm-hmm. We do need to do some Death, though. There's a band named Death. And like...
This is interesting. Fear is simply the presence of the unknown. It's interesting. A lot of my fear is that. Okay, we're going to do a lot of...
Why would God create children of Satan and children of God? Yeah, so the standard answer is that, well, you know, you made the decision to become a child of Satan, things like that. I don't think that the answer is that simple. And where I am, Sori and I were just having this conversation in Chipotle. And so right now my answer is I don't like that idea, and I don't know. Like, I know, like, what scriptures to go to and how to, you know, how to answer it. But in the interest of being as honest with you guys as I possibly can about where I am in my journey at this given moment, from what I know of God and the way that he has dealt with me and people in the Bible, I don't know why he would make somebody like oh, I'm going to make this guy. He's going to be a child of Satan, and he's going to be away from me forever. And I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of things that I'm missing that I need to grow into. So that's, sorry to disappoint you, but I don't have all the answers. Yeah, a lot of fear is based on ignorance, which is why fear is based on ignorance, which is why, you know, with Watain I think you're supposed to say Watain?
Yeah.
And
that's
Behemoth, that's why it really wasn't a gimmick of, oh, you know, this will get us a bunch of views. I wanted to listen to that stuff because even prior to when I started listening to it, I was like, okay, what is, you know, that was metal I stayed away from. And I wanted to hear it. I wanted to say, okay, let's hear it. Let's see what these guys have to say. What's going on? And then it led me down the rabbit hole of looking into the history and looking into Norway and looking into why the church burnings happened. You know, it wasn't a bunch of people who just got up one day and said, you know, because that's how it got presented. Because I remember in the early 90s when they were talking about the church burnings. And the way that these pastors talked about it, it was like these normal kids were walking around. They were listening to metal. The devil jumped into their brain.
Oh, yes, yes.
And then, you know, fucking boom.
That's it.
That's over. Not what happened. There was decades of angst because of, you know, Roman Catholic imperialism and Christian imperialism. And this was the fallout of it. And so I think, you know, nobody even attempted from the Christian standpoint, at least where I grew up, not to stereotype. Nobody even attempted to try to look at the historical, you know, political, social, psychological ramifications of what led to this. Mm-hmm. It was just, you know, the devil jumped into their body after listening to Black Sabbath or whatever, which Black Sabbath is probably more Christian than all the bands you hear on Christian radio. So there you go.
Cassandra wanted to know if there's anything that we disagree on as far as religion goes. I don't think there is. We have, in the past, we disagreed on stuff.
When we first met, we were on complete opposite ends of the spectrum.
He changed in some areas and I changed in some areas. And now, I think that do we have differing views? I don't think we have any views that are not the same. I think both of us are kind of...
I have ideas and theories about stuff that I haven't talked about.
Oh.
That sometimes I'll say, hey, sorry, you ever thought about blah? And she'll be like, what the fuck are you talking about?
So those subjects. Isn't blasphemy the unforgivable sin? Actually, Thrash, you wouldn't try anything. I could list a bunch of things that you'd say, no, I wouldn't try that. So you wouldn't try anything. Nova Wolf, we met at a Bible study.
Yeah, where else would we meet? Are your kids metalheads? Isn't the little boy one?
I don't know. You remember we put corn? Was it corn? And when he started doing that, he was like, "What?"
Corn
he was laughing so hard.
He's like, "Why are they embarrassing?
Why are they embarrassing themselves?"
I forgot. No, none of my kids are metalhead. They're too prideful and sophisticated.
Yeah.
Our kids are extremely sophisticated.
You have no idea. No idea. Somebody was like, "Do you think they're gonna even read this chat?"
What?
Because you go on answering the question for so long that we don't really look at this. So like, do you think they're even gonna look at the chat?
Book that you wish all atheists would read: The Gospel of John. I've read a ton of books in my life, and I've recommended. Have we sent that book off yet?
No, because remember I was supposed to call.
Cassandra, Sori is delaying your book.
It's my fault.
It's her fault. No, but really, the gospel.
Kids to the library. I did a bunch of stuff.
I've read a ton of books. I've read a ton of this and historical that, and the Gospel of John. I don't know. I've never been able to find something deeper than that book, if you really look at it.
Hey, Vin and Sori, if Eve doomed all of mankind for one apple, what do you think she would have done for a Klondike bar?
Very good point. Actually, Adam is blamed for dooming all mankind, actually. Even though Where's the Satanic Bible Study at? So we've got a vacation coming, and no, that doesn't mean we're gonna stack the content so that it's gonna be like a regular.
Still get content.
Yeah,
when
it's gonna be
out.
like a regular day. You won't even miss us. But after that gets out of the way, then we're I'm talking to my guy, because there's a guy who's got a
Satanic Bible.
Well, he knows his shit. Like, he's like a priest.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, like
okay.
he
This is going to be...
So, I'm very,
legit.
very, very intrigued. Because, I've read the Satanic Bible and all that. But, like, there's a difference between that and being a priest.
Is there a way for us to have a conversation like the chat thing, but put that live? So everybody could see the back and forth?
We would have to funnel the Ring Central conversation through that. There's a couple technological things that we have to figure out. But, yeah. Winter Sun is very sophisticated. Yeah, they're very sophisticated, for sure.
I liked it.
White is a priest. No, he's like a priest in the Church of Satan. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, Rob knows the Satanic Bible too?
I don't know if he's like I'm not sure.
Cassandra, when I asked if his hair was red, I meant like a born redhead, not that he dyed it red.
Thrash.
I've seen bands with red hair.
Thrash, there are not 13 deleted gospels. Ask any textual critic. Those are Gnostic gospels that came through much later that were not canonical or recognized as canonical by the early church. There's no conspiracy. It's just that the early church weren't Gnostics. There's enough literature of the first Christians to show inside and outside of the Bible that Gnosticism was not an accepted Christian doctrine, and those 13 books were Gnostic, especially Thomas and Judas, etc. And also very sexist. Which, of course, a person's going to come back and say, well, the New Testament is sexist. I disagree. All right. Deleted.
What?
Thrash believes that if he puts something in all caps, that undoes historical facts. I just told you historical facts. He's like, well, let me put it in all caps. Deleted! Well, the Book of Enoch is what you would call pseudepigrapha or intertestamental literature. So the intertestamental literature is like after the Old Testament and before the New Testament. The Gnostic Gospels were after the time of the apostles and, prior to, the close of the 4th century or the patristic period. So it's a timeline thing. What's up, Rudy Hernandez? Hey, Root! That's the guy I was looking for.
Oh.
Remember I said, hey, Rudy, man, my bad, dude. So we were going to mention you in the Patreon video of, like, examples of people that we were going to be promoting their work and all this stuff. But anyway, so we got you and Solomon Kane lined up for an interview and your music and stuff. I didn't show you his...
No.
He's a bad motherfucker,
well,
this guy.
That picture looks artistic, so I really want to hear it.
You're welcome, Nicholas. I don't know what I cleared up, but you thanked me for it, so. Salam Lech. Channel 0, greetings from Iraq. Ramadan Kareem.
He is reading the Bhagavad Gita.
Bhagavad. Somebody just talked to me about Bhakti Yoga today. The guy that doesn't like me, yeah. The guy that doesn't like me, but he's always nice to you. He was talking to me about Bhakti Yoga. He was on the coexist
What'd
video.
you say? He likes you and doesn't like me?
He likes you, but he doesn't like me. He's never said anything mean about you ever. And he comments a lot, but he's never said anything nice about me, which is okay. But anyway, he was talking to me about Bhakti Yoga today.
Is he the one that there's a lot of yellow in his picture?
Yes.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Could you put up the Patreon website on the description? We're so terrible with that stuff. I'm sorry. We will eventually. We are going to watch the Wall movie. Crustbag, I haven't... So I'm pretty sure that within the next 3 months, we're going to be reviewing The Wall, and part of there's an actual movie.
Yeah, I know. I'm interested.
So I wanted to do kind of like a group movie watch, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's a cool idea.
So I wanted to do that, and then after that, we would be able to do the live listen session, because the album The Wall goes with The Wall movie.
Oh.
Yeah, look, Stream Health is on red. And babe, look, see?